Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome back to Uma Talks. So, what we're going to do today is talk to one of our team members. As we said before, this podcast isn't just about talking to industry leaders in partners and organizations. It's about just getting to know the team here at Uma. So, today we have got Daniel Hamer, who is head of our product. So, anything that goes wrong, blame him. Anything that goes right, come to me. So Dan, do you want to just give us a bit of a background about yourself and introduce yourself to everyone?
Yeah, sure. So my name's Daniel Hamer, head of product at Uma. Basically, I work on the product strategy here with you, developing out the roadmap for our product. That includes the SaaS platform, so the software that you log into, and any hardware integrations like IoT sensors or video conferencing integrations or anything like that.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Fantastic. So what as we're still I still class us as a startup. What does the an average day look like for Dan Hamer and his team in Uma?
It's quite varied here because we all wear different hats, but basically, I will check in with the development team, focusing on their priorities. I might look in on any support issues we have and feed that back to the team. I'll try and do some kind of potential coding myself, which I've got into a little bit, and product design, engaging with customers to understand the pain points in the product and how they want it to be improved,
Yeah.
and just being the bridge really in the business between the for the product really.
Yeah, I think there is a varying amount of roles that we do in this business. We all kind of muck in, and I think that's one of the key things I want our listeners, our customers, and people that are talking to us about what Uma is about. But so let's drill into you touched on something there which I kind of want to explore a little bit around kind of you picking up the mantle on coding and actually starting to look at that. We've all heard of vibe coding and kind of AI being brought into the fold. We have a very great development portfolio of people, teams, and software. What's your thoughts on AI?
I think, well, from a product development standpoint.
Yeah, I think definitely how can we utilize it really? What are we doing today? What are you doing with your team particularly, to deal with demand and increased development awareness?
Well, I think it's taking away the smaller tasks from the development team so they can focus on the more complex, so back-end or database changes and things like that, or the more complex integrations and
Yeah,
features. And it's allowing people who can't code or who can code a little bit to get involved to make kind of front-end changes, UI, UX changes.
yeah,
So I, and not just like, so we can deploy our product in our local environment on our PC. And we, instead of using something like Figma or Lovable or Bolt or something like that to try and prototype a new feature, we can literally use our product in our local environment to test out a new feature and even create multiple iterations of that
yeah.
and get stakeholder sign off on that. So it's becoming very easy to implement these quite useful, meaningful front end changes quite quickly. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm pretty. I want to make a change quite often, and I have ideas in my. Yeah, okay, fair enough. But we do have the capability now to like look at the platform and make those changes because whilst we're talking about technical use cases for AI and how people are using AI, we are looking at how we can build our revenue and change our product to be this really awesome you know, amazing product. And I think if we can do that and speed up and give our developers the ability to like 10x their performance based on, those tools and things, I'm a big fan of it. And I've seen some of the stuff that your team have done using AI, and we're really kind of drilling into that. Do you think that is there anything that we've coded in the product today that you can talk about with AI?
Yeah, I mean, I would probably say a lot of things lately, and I'm not actually. Obviously, I mentioned on stuff that the like people like me are doing with it, but obviously the developers that I mentioned are working on complex tasks. They still
Yeah,
use AI because it speeds up create like repetitive boilerplate code
yeah,
and just a lot of manual work that can actually take some time. So they still use it day to day, but obviously there still has to be some element of coding knowledge there to review what AI is doing and also have your own ideas on the architecture and solutioning of that feature. But yeah, I sort of say every feature, but obviously lately quite a few front end changes. So we just introduced that timeline view for the
yeah,
calendar view,
yeah,
and that was done very quickly using AI.
yeah,
And when we need to make a front end change only, that becomes very simple.
yeah.
Obviously, AI is not perfect, and you need to check it. We get our developers to review all the code that AI will.
Yeah, I mean, it's the same peer review process as we would do in any feature that's been done by anyone really. I think that the message and the thing that we're trying to say here is that AI isn't replacing, but it is just aiding, and it's also giving us the breadth of knowledge to start looking at that. Just wait while I start getting involved, and
Well, you just have today, haven't you?
I have, yeah, I've just had my first enterprise vibe coding lesson and got myself set up and ready to go within our own product. So you'll probably see I change all the color themes, and I don't know. I'm only kidding. I aren't going to do anything, and it has to be approved by the lead developers anyway. I think in terms of tools that we use on a day-to-day basis, I'd say we don't just use it for coding. We use AI quite a lot in the business now. Is
Yeah.
there anything in particular that you can point out that we use AI for to get your productivity levels, not just coding? Is there anything that you can think of that you want to share with our listeners about, how they can be more productive?
I think one of the main things I use it for is meeting notes.
Yeah,
Notion
yeah,
AI is absolutely brilliant for taking meeting notes,
yeah,
and we'll do that. I try and do that for most calls I'm on because it
yeah,
will literally summarize the entire meeting and also create actions for people and things like that. So you're not having to, because obviously we're living in a fast-paced world, we're having lots of meetings. If we've got these meeting notes that we can refer to quickly after a meeting or a week later, then that's
yeah,
great. So I use it for that. Also, we use something called Airtable
yeah,
internally, which is like a low-code database
yeah,
for a lot of our operational stuff, and you can literally ask AI to spin up a database with what you want,
yeah.
and it'll even create a front end for it, and it's like low-code apps that are suited for your internal use cases in within the business, like I don't know, a CRM or a project tracker or a task tracker or
Yeah.
anything you might want really that involves a database.
I think it's definitely, productivity wise, AI is really kind of giving us a heavy lift there. What I will say though, and these sort of chats are designed to be really short and sharp. Where are we going in the next 5 years? So we're here now. We've got the product. It's where it's at. It's a absolute rocket ship as far as I'm concerned, and we've developed this over the last 7, 8 years to be where it is today. And we're very, very lucky that we've got some great customers on our platform using it. But I've just given you the keys. Where are we taking this product in the next 5 years?
Um, I think we need to obviously grow the business, but sensibly, grow the product sensibly, and don't try to do everything. Focus on the areas where we're seeing in the market where there's pain points. Obviously, AI is going to be a contributing factor to that because it will take away a lot of the friction from manual, repetitive workplace tasks
Yep.
that can be solved in our platform. So
Yep.
I think definitely the plan for 2026 is to integrate AI more into Uma
Yep.
and make it help our users sort of day to day working life,
Yeah.
whether that's in an office environment or healthcare.
Yeah. I mean, we have AI in the product today, and we're using it. But I think I agree. We're definitely looking at how we can weave that AI in to assist users on a day-to-day basis. Generally, where do you think the AI marketplace is going to be in the next 5 years? Like, what are we going to lose jobs and things like that? Are people like, what's your take on that?
I think that inevitably will be some job losses, but I think also job changes
Yeah,
to work with AI as
yeah,
well. So your job role might change related to what you're doing, and in the context of how AI can help with that role,
yeah.
and things like that. But yeah, it's all a bit unknown at this point.
Excellent. If you could integrate one sensor into our platform tomorrow, and it was something that you think could help, or even something funny, what would you do?
You put me on the spot here.
Is it okay?
Um, One sensor into our platform. I mean, we pretty much have a lot of
Yeah.
sensors in our platform already. Um, so I'm trying to think.
Don't worry about it. There are a lot. There are a lot of sensors that are in the platform. I've been asked for some weird ones in the past, like methane detection and bloody poo sensors and things like that, just to pick up on certain bits. But if I reframe it, then what would you put in your home?
Yeah, okay. Probably a lighting controller
Yeah,
in my house because I just feel like that's very energy efficient,
yeah,
and you can, create schedules or use it based on occupancy,
yeah.
and anything like that. And I think that would be useful in the house. And it's quite lazy as well, but
It's not. It's also very efficient. You know, when people are leaving lights on when they shouldn't be doing, like my kids do, you can absolutely switch that off. So, no problem. Well, look, Dan, thank you. If anybody wants to get hold of Dan, is LinkedIn the best way to get hold of you to chat about product and things like that?
yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Okay. Nice. Dan, thank you for your time. Up next on our, in fact, do you know what, Dan? Nominate someone from within the business to come and sit and do a tech talk with us on what their role is in the organization.
So I would love to say Dean.
Right, Dino Mira is next. Guys, it might be a while before we can get him actually involved in this because he doesn't really like speaking in public. But we're going to do peer pressure when this podcast goes out. Hammer our LinkedIn saying we want to hear from Dino Mira. Thanks very much, everybody, and take care. Thanks, Dan.